If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give joy. If you want more peace, give peace. If you want more, give. Yeah, if you want more, give. If you want more money, I'll give you money. More time, give up your time. If you want more friends, be a friend. If you want more, give. Said if you want more, why don't you give? If you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle. It's just a simple fact. Yeah. If you want to see change, be the change. If you want to have more truth, tell your truth. If you want gratitude, give thanks. If you want more, give. Said if you want more, why don't you give? When you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle. It's just a simple fact. Yeah. Ooh, it's just a simple fact. Yeah. If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give your joy. If you want peace, give peace. If you want more, give. Yeah, if you want more, why don't you give? If you want more, oh, why don't you give?
Good morning to everyone here in our sanctuary and in our Zoom room. Thank you for joining us today at Unity's Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Our guest musician today is Ken Jansen, a frequent guest of Unity. Welcome back, Ken. Ken's musical path has taken him through many styles, including classical, jazz, country, rock, pop, and R&B. He has played with many great performers, including Dave Valentine and The Temptations. He has also played in many bands and groups in Colorado Springs, Denver, and in Wichita, Kansas. We would like to share our inclusivity statement with you. Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, gender identities, and relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And please join us in affirming our mission statement. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our Creator and all creation. The Board of Trustees' monthly meeting is scheduled for this Wednesday, October 18th, from 6 to 8 p.m. in Fellowship Hall and on Zoom. All are invited. If you would like to address the board, then please send a written request to Luana Turner. See the e-blast for more information. The Scrappy Quilters will be meeting on Thursday, October 26th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in Fellowship Hall. You are invited to join them as they work together for a worthy cause and have fun while doing it. They will be making quilts and no-sew fleece blankets for our neighbors at Westside Cares who are moving into housing. The Sacred Women's Circle Movie Day. Please join the group on Saturday, October 28th at 3 p.m. for their first annual Sacred Women's Circle Movie Day. The group will watch an inspirational movie, enjoy snacks, and share quality time with great friends. Check out the October Sacred Women's Circle newsletter for more details. Westside Cares Thanksgiving Dinner Program. You're invited to support their annual Thanksgiving dinner program through the purchase of King Soopers gift cards or by contributing funds for the purchase of gift cards. Contributions must be received by October 29th. See the e-blast for more information. Unity Spiritual Center cookbook sales. Cookbooks are available to purchase after service and during regular business hours. Stop by the cookbook table in the foyer. Good grief! A support group for people grieving the death of a loved one meets the fourth Sunday of each month in the sanctuary from 12 to 1:30 p.m. The next meeting is scheduled for Sunday, October 22nd, which is next Sunday. And finally, welcome to the Light on the Mesa. Now I'd like to introduce our board president, Luana Turner, for two special announcements.
Thank you. Good morning. So I have two announcements today. The first one is the board has completed the survey questions for the annual minister survey. We'll be passing them out after today's service. Your feedback is important. The deadline to return the survey is October the 29th, and you can give it to a board member or an usher, to your lauder, or drop it in the donation box in the back. And for the people on Zoom, please contact your lauder, and she will email you a copy. The second announcement, in the past, I attended two of Molly Lord's Tuned In workshops. These are 2 full days packed full of music, learning, new insights, and fun. I left feeling well taken care of, sort of like a great retreat, with lots of new understandings. It's held at the Cheyenne Canyon Inn, in a beautiful setting in Cheyenne Canyon. And Molly Lord is here to tell us more about it.
Thank you. Thanks. I have a broken foot. Good morning. You know, I've done Tuned In, the Soundtrack of Your Life workshop for Unity since, I think, 2016 or 17. And it always evolves. I have people that return. And I get asked, so what will I get out of it if I were to give up a whole weekend? Because I know you have a lot to do in your life. And the best way I can describe it is, I heard a great metaphor once. It's as though our human spirit and our body is like this incredible orchestra. And there are times when our second violin player loses its sheet music. We get stressed, we get sick, we get worried, or we're very excited about something and we're not sure the path to really make it happen. Sometimes our own bodies, our own spirit, we feel like the second violin player has lost its sheet music. And I would say tuned in is about giving the sheet music back. Because pretty soon, if we don't, pretty soon the whole violin section is off and the whole orchestra is off. And that is akin to what happens in our own body, in our own spirit. So there's something about music, and you'll find out what it is when it crawls inside our heads. What really happens, and how can we guide it to address the things that happen in our life that we're not sure where our next step should be. So I hope you'll join us. It's November 11, 12, 2 full days. And you can register in the back today. If you want to register with a check, I'll handle it. If you want to register with your credit card, your Lauder will handle it today, or during the week. It is filling up. We're almost halfway filled. So do register if you know you would like to come. It would be music to my ears. Do you see what I did there? Okay.
Set it down. I'll look at it.
Surely the presence. Join me. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. There's a rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. My name is Charlotte Wilson, and I am one of your prayer chaplains today. Backing me up is Forrest. And we will be available to pray with you individually after the service, either down here in front or in our wonderful prayer chapel outside the foyer in the back. Please take advantage of this opportunity. Today's reading is from the Daily Word for October 15th, 2023, and it's amazing how this links with the song that Ken brought us in with and our study in Ask and It Shall Be Given. It is the title, Generous. The abundance of the world flows through me. I am securely in the flow of prosperity when I receive graciously and gratefully and share my abundance generously. Whatever I share with a loving, giving heart blesses me as much as it blesses the one who receives it. Each time I share of my supply, I am demonstrating my trust that I will always have what I need. When I share of myself, I am living my faith that I am a divine being empowered with a limitless supply of divine ideas. The richness of an abundant universe flows through me. Knowing this, I don't hesitate to be generous to others. So others will know the abundance of the world as I know it. Through my giving, may they also know the blessings of the awesome power and grace of God as they bless me daily. And our scripture is from 1 Corinthians 2:12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit that is from God, so that we may understand the gifts bestowed on us by God. Again, let me remind you, our prayer chaplains will be available to pray with you after the service. Whether you're in a place of need or a place of joy, we are happy to serve you. Have a great day.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feel like I'm walking on marbles. Can't steal the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left angling? I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. 'Cause God is everything and everywhere that I belong. Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Everybody say, something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Yeah, something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside this blue. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I surrender some my life to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Expansion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. What is calling you a little bit deeper than you've ever been before? Your faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Beautiful, Ken, as always. Thank you, sir. Good morning, beautiful people. Oh my gosh, this is just making my heart happy. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm seeing a couple of our small groups kind of congregating and sitting together and being with each other live and in person as well as online. So that's a very good thing. And I just bless that and honor that. And you know what today is? Today is Blue Day. The candles got the memo. I love this. So, for our linear thinkers, blue corresponds to the throat, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the lungs, and the mouth. Blue balance is freedom of expression, both verbally and artistically, integrity, honesty, loyalty, reliability, gentleness, kindness, contentment, and endurance. I might keep these a while. Blue is I speak. Blue resonates one-to-one communication. Blue relates to one-to-one communication, especially communication using the voice, speaking the truth through verbal self-expression. It is the teacher, the public speaker. The color blue is idealistic, enhancing self-expression and our ability to communicate our needs and wants. It inspires us to higher ideals. And so it is. Our ability to communicate our needs and wants. To that end, thank you, Susan, for reaching out to all of our groups, all of our AIP Adventures in Prosperity groups this week, and we got some feedback from them that we just wanted to share a little bit with you. Our group is awesome. We love the book. We're in a state of exploration. The content is most interesting. I know what that means. And our group is very interested in the content and subject of the book. And from one of our wonderful facilitators, I'm in a much different place in my life than when I previously explored this work. So I too am receiving information at a deeper level. We feel like the work has fostered a sense of community. We're enjoying the sharing. We're building our own trusted community. It just is a wonderful thing. This from one of our groups. We start off the meeting with a sharing of our wins for the week. I love that. It can be everything from an unexpected rainbow to selling a house, right? Everybody gets to define it how they choose. Let's do another book next year. Easy, one at a time here, and yes, that is under consideration. And yeah, so that's just some of the feedback that we got, that we continue to solicit, and that we so appreciate. And as Lou explained, there is an annual minister evaluation available for you on the way out. We continue to welcome your feedback in all of its forms, whether that's one-to-one conversation, whether that's our town hall meeting, our Q&A session, our written evaluations for all of our programs. So please chime in, let your voice be heard. We so much appreciate the feedback on all levels. Oh my gosh, and so much continues to be happening in our world. So last week, some family business called me away at the last minute. I do apologize for that, and I thank you for your grace. And I understand my substitute did okay. Yeah? Good. I knew he would. I wouldn't invite anyone to be with this beloved congregation who wouldn't do an extraordinary job. So as a part of that conversation then, my friends, again, it was just something family related that needed my attention and presence, so thank you for that. And as we continue to move through some of that work, Rick and I are feeling more and more confident and comfortable with our move down here. We originally were thinking about this past summer, and as you've heard me say before, we planned and God laughs. And now in communication with the board, it's looking like the middle of next year. So we're grateful for your patience. We're grateful for your understanding. We are absolutely committed to this beautiful community, and we look forward to being with you geographically as well. So, Speaking of moving and speaking of Rick, for all of those of you who have signed up for the cruise, we're going to be hosting a cruise meeting in 2 weeks on the 29th. What better way to move into Halloween week after the service? We have some exciting new information to share with you. And if you haven't signed up and you're interested, please join us. We'd love to have Q&A with you, respond to any questions that you might have. It's not too late. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 folks that Rick and I are aware of from this community and from our broader Colorado community. We're not sure how many are on the entire cruise, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested, please take that under consideration. So announcements and that jibber jabber aside, I just invite you into that place of Most High as we enter a moment of meditation, allowing ourselves to be fully present as we move into today's message. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for our human bodies that are housing our spiritual selves so beautifully, so perfectly, and so brilliantly. Thank you for the opportunity to come together as one voice with so many unique components, as Molly explored so beautifully. Each individual playing a beautiful instrument of their own choosing and their own composition. And this community creating a symphony that is heard well beyond these walls into this gorgeous and glorious community and the planet itself. And as we move into our expansion this day around prosperity and abundance, we know that that is so much more than money and things and stuff. We know that it is consciousness, that it is love itself, that it is sharing our truth, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like, just by way of communicating with other beings on the planet. And while our hearts hurt for so many experiencing war, experiencing loss, experiencing the unfathomable loss of life, as those on a spiritual path, we get to continue to send energy to those beings and to that part of the world. We get to send love. We get to send light. We don't have to know the answers, and we can do that which is ours to do. So it is in that spirit that we take just a moment, checking in with ourselves, tapping into our interpretation of divine wisdom and the divine itself, with the simple question: in the name of peace, what is mine to do? And as we continue to check in with that question throughout this week and beyond, we also acknowledge the glorious astrological phenomenon that was the eclipse. And we honor the Navajo perspective that says, this is a time of rest. This is a time of recalculation. This is a time of release. This is a time of self-care. So I bless you in that exploration as well. What does self-care look like for me? Is it 5 minutes in silence? Is it a day at the spa? Is it a walk in nature, exploring the beauty and the graciousness that is the trees releasing their leaves? Self-care is necessary, it is important, it is extraordinarily valuable. And I bless you in that experience. And so as we go forth then, we are grounded, we are centered, we are absolutely knowing the truth of who we are and our relationship to the divine, and we are beautifully open at the top to receive prosperity and abundance in all of its forms. I release, I let go, I allow it to be. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is. So, the newsletter had one topic for this week, which is completely my doing. I will own that. And Mark asked me this morning, what is the topic for the slides? And rather than reading all of these words, I said, you are magnificent. And he said, why, thank you. And what is the title for our... And I said, no wonder we work so beautifully together. And in the newsletter, for those who are e-blast aficionados, it lists the title as, you are a perfect yet expanding being in a perfect yet expanding world, in a perfect yet expanding universe. And I still love that. Will you join me? I am a perfect and yet expanding being in a perfect yet expanding world, in a perfect yet expanding universe. Yeah. So that is what we know to be true. You get to know that, you get to feel that at the core of your being, and I see that in you, and I know that and feel that with you. And we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and this past week was rough with war, with I saw two stories from different perspectives of a young Israeli family, mom and dad and twin daughters and a baby boy, who were killed at point blank range in their own home. And I saw a story about a mom and a dad and 4 little kids, the youngest being a 2-year-old, who were killed when a bomb hit their home in the Gaza Strip. My friends, killing each other's babies is not going to get us anywhere. And so, as I was spending time in this energy this week, along with all of you, it struck me that this is not a good versus bad consideration. This is not an Israeli versus an Arab or a Palestinian consideration. One of the things that stuck with me the most out of way too much coverage that I watched this week was a comment by someone who identified as Palestinian and was previously a spokesperson for the PLO and a number of Palestinian organizations. She said something to the effect of, "This is the natural outcome when you have 2 million people living for 57 years with a boot on their neck." Now, that made me think of so many things, and I'm grateful for the comment. And I am diametrically opposed to the thought that murder and death and rape and mayhem are ever a natural outcome. It is not okay, regardless of circumstance, regardless of who identifies as what, whatever is happening. So I'm stepping into a new paradigm of it is those who believe in love, those who believe in prayer, those who believe as we do, those on a spiritual path, that we are all expressions of the divine, especially when we show up in interesting ways, and those who don't. Forgive me, I'll be damned if I'm ever going to accept that any of this is a natural outcome. So that is what we get to step into as people of faith. Yeah, there's so much going on there and so much to unpack. I was invited back into the Lord's Prayer several times recently for different memorials that I have been doing, and families wanted the Lord's Prayer. And I have asked, would you like the longer Protestant version, or would you like the shorter Our Father version from the Catholic tradition? And they're clear, if they're asking for the Lord's Prayer, they're clear about which one they want. So I was able to, and I have been able to spend time with the Lord's Prayer. And that also moved me into the metaphysical interpretation of the Lord's Prayer, which is a little bit about what I want to share with you today. And it fits into the paradigm of our conversation around prosperity and abundance by way of broadening our perspective. So my sense is many of us, including me, were taught the Lord's Prayer, whatever version, at a young age. And that could perhaps have been our first experience with asking, right? With defining what we want. Maybe it's a pony, maybe it's a puppy, maybe it's a, whatever children are praying to God for, in addition to watching over mommy and daddy. So that is our first effort at beseeching, or our first effort at talking, and our first effort at asking. And it may, at that age, we may not have understood, lead me not into temptation, but we understood, give us this day our daily bread. Maybe it was about food at that point. Maybe it wasn't, as we all understand now. So that has been my work, and that has been what I've been up to this week around the Lord's Prayer. So when we say Our Father, for me, that represents the creative capacity of God that's within every one of us. It is not, in my humble opinion, it is not gender specific. That is how we call it in. That is how we offer that initial grounding. All of our prayer chaplains in the training that they have been through are aware, are encouraged, are instructed, are taught to start their prayers with a recognition of the one power, the one presence that is God, whatever your name for that higher power, and to identify with that higher power, right? So that our Father then, from our metaphysical perspective, is that one power, that one presence that lives inside of all of us. That is God, our creator, our source of happiness, our source of joy, our source of health, supply, security, whatever is needed. That is the Our Father. And isn't it interesting that our friends in the Catholic tradition call the Lord's Prayer the Our Father? So whenever they speak of that prayer, They are speaking of their oneness with that connection with their own divinity. The next phrase, who art in heaven? What if heaven is now? What if heaven is right here? Some of us are thinking, ruh-roh, and some of us are thinking, this is awesome. Again, a point to consider. So when I hear who art in heaven, it's very easy to go back to that old white guy with a beard sitting on a cloud, doing his thing. I get a little confused this time of year because, God and Santa Claus look a lot alike, but that's my issue. So many are looking forward to releasing their bodies, to moving beyond the veil to whatever is next, to going to heaven. Again, within the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the Palestinians are looking to paradise when they release their human bodies, when they release the physicalness that is a human being. Their belief is that of paradise, where it's perfect and good and glorious and people and places and things and goods and perhaps everything that eluded them on this physical walk. Once they die, it's paradise. So perhaps a little bit of that understanding, never acceptance, please hear me, but a bit more understanding around how they came to specifically target elementary schools and youth centers for that initial launch into Israel last Saturday. They were killing children. That was the plan, to kill them and take them hostage. I can't explain it. I don't understand it, other than to say, if they don't value their own life, it's hard for them to value the lives of others. And what we believe, what we know to be true, is heaven is not a place. It's a state of consciousness. It's a condition of our soul. Whether this is or isn't heaven, we get to choose what that's going to be like. What do we want to experience in heaven? Why can't we think about that? Why can't we bring that about right now? Who's to say that we have to wait until we die to get all the goodies? Right? Just something for us to think about. Hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name invites us to consciously acknowledge and accept the belief that God is all-powerful. Again, don't get wound up in my languaging. If you don't like God, if there's baggage around the term God, fill in the blank with whatever you like, with whatever you love, with whatever you identify with. And what if that one power, that one presence is omnipresent, is omnipotent, is omniscient, is in, around, and through everything? That, to me, is the hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. So my understanding is, at the time of Jesus, many believed that God would soon come and set up a kingdom on earth by eliminating all the evil people and evil nations. Oh my goodness. That would be a very sparse part of the world, don't you think? I mean, I know I would be there, and I'm pretty sure you would be there, but I think everybody else is pretty darn iffy if they're going to let him in or if they're going to be evil or not. Thy kingdom come. So what do we know? What did Jesus tell us? What does Jesus tell us? My kingdom is not of this world. So what does that mean? The coming of the kingdom is the dawning in consciousness of inner presence of God. And that is what we continually refer to of everything is done twice. Once internally and once externally, right? That everything is created twice. So thy kingdom come is an example for us to be present to that common, perhaps not so common, to that ever presence of the divine. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Now, I struggled with this one for a while. This doesn't mean that we try to make sense out of these tragedies. This doesn't mean that we try to say, where was God? Why would God do this to fill in the blank, right? These people, those people, our people, any people. God doesn't cause tragedies. God is just God. This is our humanness being humanness in everything that we don't understand. When Jesus said, not my will, but thine will be done, we'll have unlimited goals and opportunities to express in life. So through our metaphysical lens then, we get to say, thy will be done, and thy good will be done. And we're not directing God. We're not trying to tell God what to do about any of this. Rather, we say that, we step into that to convince our human selves that is the direction that we're moving. On earth as it is in heaven. This means that we all want our outer manifestations to be in harmony with principle, with God's will. On earth as it is in heaven, right? Again, we're invited to look at what we are calling in, look at what we are co-creating exactly as it would be in heaven. So why not roads paved with gold? Why not your every need being met? Why not love and connection and alignment on every level that you can possibly imagine? Give us this day our daily bread. As I referred earlier, I don't think Jesus was talking about just nutrition, although perhaps he might have been. Our daily bread is an invitation to consider our daily inspiration. How are you nourished beyond food and water? What is your daily bread? What is your spiritual practice? What does meditation look like for you? Do you read the Bhagavad Gita? Are you interested in the Talmud? Do you love the Quran? Is the Bible on the top of your list? I bless you in that experience, whatever it looks like to you, wherever you're getting nourished on a daily level. Our daily bread, from a metaphysical perspective, is spiritual ideas and guidance and wisdom that we know we receive when we are quiet and we allow. And our next phrase then, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. We're asking for forgiveness, right? Forgive me for the wrongs that I have done. And, I will look at forgiving those who have done wrong to me too. I think, that's a fair trade from a human perspective. And in the prayer, I think Jesus is just reminding us that forgiveness is important to spiritual growth. So, more times than I would like to admit, I move into a place of, please forgive me. I forgive you. And I forgive myself. And then we get to release and create energy for more good. Forgiveness, an important piece of our spiritual growth. And lead us not into temptation. The Greek word translated as temptation could also be translated as trial or test or persecution. It was believed by many at the time of Jesus that before the kingdom of God came onto earth, there would be a great trial, and it was known as the temptation. So that's a little context for you. And we all know that as God created us, why then would God lead us into temptation? I can't quite get my head around that paradigm. I'm created in the image and the likeness of God, and now God is going to say, how about this, just in case? How about this? Your humanness wants to foul up. How about this, just so I could send you to hell? That doesn't ring true for me. So if I am created in that image and likeness, God is not leading me into temptation. That is my humanness, that is my ego trying to protect me. And on the same note, God doesn't send trials or tribulations to test us. In my opinion, God is not testing the people of the Middle East. God is not testing us with anything we may have going on in our consciousness. What God does, what our belief does, what our faith teaches us, is God only leads us into more light and more prosperity and more abundance. God is not a revengeful God. You know, even if God is sitting up there on a cloud, I don't see lightning bolts in God's hand. Oh, you messed up. You know, makes for an interesting movie, but not for a faith perspective. So, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. If God is the only power in the one ubiquitous presence, there can be no evil. Or, if we need to believe in evil, evil is a part of that one power, that one presence, under the scope of, if you will. We do want to be delivered in consciousness from the misuse of the God power that we are. And you've heard me say that before. There are no bad religions. There is only misuse of religion. And that is what humans have created, and that is what humans continue to execute. I shared with you that my mom and dad were both only children. My dad identified as a non-practicing Jew. My mom identified as a recovering Lutheran. And then we, as their kiddos, got a little bit of everything from the most positive perspective. And when my dad's dad died, my Jewish grandfather, my namesake, David Goldberg, when he made his transition from a heart attack in 1963, he and my mom, his daughter-in-law, were best friends. And so my mom is doing everything she can, right, to honor her father-in-law, to honor her best friend. And she goes to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, my father, David Goldberg, has passed. May we engage your services to do a service for him? And they did a little bit of Q&A, a little bit of back and forth. And the rabbi said, I'm sorry, my dear, I will not be able to do this service because your father-in-law was married to a Gentile. So my mom went to her minister, the minister of the Lutheran Church, whom she served as an extraordinary administrative assistant. And she said, Pastor, my father-in-law and my best friend died. And he identified as a Jew, and the rabbi is not able to facilitate his service. Would you do me the biggest favor of my life and please officiate at my father-in-law David Goldberg's service? And they had some communication, and they went back and forth, and he said, Joanne, I love you dearly, and you are such an important part of this community, and I'm sorry, I can't do a funeral service for a Jew. So that's when my mom became a recovering Lutheran and left the church. And I was 3 at the time, so all of these conversations took place over the years. And I said, Mom, Grandma loved the church. You love the church. Why did you leave the church? And she told me that story, and she said, honey, the God that I know and love, the God that is in my Bible, was never meant to come between people like this. So she encouraged us and supported us. We had all the holy books in our library. She said, I can't step back into organized religion right now. If you can, if you choose to, I will do everything in my power to support you. And I won't be able to walk through that front door with you. That is how humans have bastardized religion. And that is one of the most powerful draws into this community, in honoring all of the faith traditions, in honoring all of the people, in honoring all of the customs. No, we don't have to agree with them. No, we don't have to practice every single one of them. We get to say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We get to bless you in your Wiccan experience. We get to honor you in your atheist path. You're not hurting anybody, and I'm not here to tell you what to believe. And that is a basic tenet of unity that continues to speak to my heart. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. So to be clear, this portion of the prayer was added a little bit later with a little flourish because somebody felt like they needed a bigger finish. The prayer was no doubt used in religious services as we use it today. Additions and changes were added over the years, became accepted. You know, as I was doing a little bit of work, as I shared with you with the Bible this week, there are more than 3,000 different versions of the Bible in 2,200 languages. If you're feeling a little distant, if you're not feeling in alignment, if you're feeling a little incongruous with your understanding of the Bible, there's probably one that agrees with you exactly where you are and exactly where you're at. That's the good news, right? If you're interested to see in the Bible that this is true, I just offer just two examples. One version, probably the older version, is in the 11th chapter of Luke. The later version, according to biblical scholars, is the one in the 6th chapter of Matthew. So this portion of the prayer adds a beautiful conclusion. It's the supreme acknowledgement of God's power. When the individual is ready, the kingdom will come personally. And isn't that the work that we've been exploring for the past month? We are preparing ourselves to ask the right question, right? To call in exactly what we want. We are seeking clarity and specificity. The right direction is the inner direction, moving to a closer relationship to your understanding of your higher power. So to put those words together then, I offer this metaphysical interpretation of what has already been renamed Jesus' prayer by Reverend Dr. Roger Teal. Roger is a dear friend and mentor of mine. He's going to be our guest speaker in April after he facilitates a board retreat with our new board members. So this is Roger Teal's metaphysical interpretation. Our Father, eternal love, source of all, which art in heaven, ever at the center within. Hallowed be thy name. Wholeness is your nature in me. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Your abundant reality is revealed. Your divine ideal is fulfilled. On earth as it is in heaven, and my earthly life exactly as it is in truth. Give us this day our daily bread. I rejoice that my total life abundance is always bountifully supplied. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And as I forgive and free all others, I am forgiven and freed. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Guide me out of separation, limitation, and fear into your perfect light. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. For mine is the love, spirit, and peace of God, now and forevermore. And so it is. Please join me in prayer. how good it is to be able to spend time in the written word, in the word of the wisdom keepers of Jesus and of so many. And so we just allow these words to resonate, to move through our minds, to live in our hearts, to see what is true for us. Where is the yes? Where is the big yes? Where is the cosmic yes? What is in my absolute highest and best? As I continue, as was sung so beautifully earlier, to move a little bit deeper, something's calling me than I've ever been before. So I bless this beautiful congregation on this day as we move deeper, into what is ours to know, what is ours to learn, what is ours to unpack, and what is ours to understand. And I know that as we do this work, we are gentle with ourselves and with each other. So many questions, some answers, and still so many unanswered questions. And we send out this word to the war-torn Middle East, to Ukraine, to all of the spots in the world that are experiencing anything other than peace, which we know to be is the natural state. We cast no blame, we take no sides. We continue to love even when we don't like what's happening with every fiber of our being. Ours is to love. Ours is to send light. Ours is to know peace that passeth all understanding. And as we go forth then, we experience the color of blue. We experience the grounding. We experience using our voice. We experience speaking our truth, knowing that it is good and right and that all is well. And so it is from this place of deep thanksgiving and tremendous gratitude that I release. I let go, I allow it to be. And we anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. And that is what we know to be true on this day, my friends. And now is our time for giving and supporting this work and supporting this extraordinary teaching through our beloved Unity community. If our ushers would come forward, please, and join me, in our affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment here, to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. diving in to the deepest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of love. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. Oh, I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Oh, get ready, my soul. Oh, get ready, my soul.
Four baskets. I love that. How good it is to be in a place of receiving as well as giving. We are so grateful for all these gifts, for these offerings, recognizing that they are returned to the givers manyfold, that we are absolutely in the flow. And I just say thank you. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. All is well. God is magnificent. And so it is. And my friends, there is one more thing I wanted to share with you. Got a little wound up here today. On the first page of Asking It Is Given, there's a quote from Louise Hay. One of the most valuable things about Asking It Is Given is that Abraham gives us 22 different powerful processes to achieve our goals. No matter where we are, there's a process that can make our lives better. I love this book, and I love Esther and Jerry Hicks. So if you haven't, I would invite you to look at those 22 proven processes that will improve your point of attraction. They start on page 127, and it's the second half of the book. I will reach out to our facilitators to invite them to share that with you, but it is a great piece of the book. I invite you into those processes individually as well as in your small groups. And we have had a couple of questions about, our small group is rocking it. We love being together. And is it okay if we continue, when we're complete at the first week in November? Absolutely. If you want to meet weekly, if you want to meet monthly, if you want to get together quarterly, Lou and Don will have you over annually for a big party. Whatever you want that to look like. But yes, please continue to do that. And now, let us rub our hands together, especially this day, and offer a blessing for the children of the world. You are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings that you are.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart, a part of me. You're the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God.
And not just for the children, but for all the people of the world. And now, as we move forth into this week, I know for you peace. I know for you presence in the knowing that you are that perfect child in whom God is well pleased. And I simply say thank you, good and faithful servant. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Please stay in your rows and join hands if you choose. Go in power, go in peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God, our Creator, family of faith. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.